What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some insanely spicy battles in the Open Great League submitted to the channel by WigglyPoo22, who's running a triple buffed, triple level 50 team with Alolan Geodude, Drifloon, and Vullaby. Now for anyone wanting to submit battles to the channel, especially in the Open Leagues at the start of the season, I would prefer to see submissions like this with 3 buff Pokemon and at least 10 battles. Obviously I expect to see spicy Pokemon. It doesn't have to be quite as crazy as this team, but if you're able to go as spicy as possible, it's more likely that I'll showcase your battles. Also, another reminder, if you can't afford to build crazy spice picks like this, but you still want to challenge yourself, I am running a weekly subscriber challenge, and this week's challenge is on screen right now. So far, no one has entered, so if you're wanting to take part, please visit a link in the description and submit your entry, because I have loads of future challenges already carefully planned out, but if there's no interest in doing them, unfortunately, I'll have to scrap the series. Anyways, with that being said, let's get into the question of the day. What's the most underwhelming move update this season? Let me know in the comment section down below. And with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, leading Geodude into Morpeko. The opponent's take swapped into Clodsire. We're going to swap into our Drifloon. Of course, if they are on Stone Edge, probably makes sense to shield the first move just because we can debuff them. They actually go for a Sludge Bomb there. So at this point, pretty clear they don't have Stone Edge, otherwise they would have just gone for it. Unlikely that they're on Sludge Bomb and Stone Edge, although that is a 5-head play if they do have Stone Edge. But either way, we're going to no-shield. They're debuffed. It's actually an Earthquake double resisted. That does laughable damage from the Clodsire. We can now go for another Icy Wind. Icy Wind is going to be no-shielded this time around, but we're already at another Icy Wind. So the opponent swaps back into Morpeko. Icy Wind, gonna debuff their attack. We can come in with the Geodude, going to no-shield the first charge move. Just the Psychic Fangs, they're also debuffed, so didn't do too much damage. We can go for the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb probably gonna grab the final shield from the opponent, and it does exactly that. At this point, of course, they are in the hangry mode. We are going to shield. Could be a Dark or a Will, but they actually go for another bait. Doesn't really matter because we can outpace them to the next charge move. Rock Tomb will be enough damage to get the KO from this range. The opponent is going to come back in with the Clodsire, and we are just barely able to swap out in time there. You can see the switch clock just came up. We're able to catch the Earthquake. Very nice. The opponent comes in with a Mandibuzz, which is a bit unfortunate here because they will be able to go for a Snarl Farm Down, but we can go for an Icy Wind. Icy Wind debuffing their attack. Unfortunately, doesn't allow us to reach another Icy Wind, but it doesn't really matter. We can come in with the Geodude, and because they're debuffed, we might be able to live this. They go for the Dark Pulse, and we do hang on. We can now reach a Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb, of course, going to hit for super effective damage. It gets the KO from that range. We can swap into our Vullaby, and this should be game over. We already know they don't have Stone Edge. Sludge Bomb, not going to do too much damage here, and we should be able to reach the foul play, but instead, we might as well commit to the Brave Bird, go for the BM just for the sake of it, and of course, Brave Bird takes out the Clodsire, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we see Lapras in the lead, so this is a fairly neutral matchup. Of course, Sparkling Aria is going to hit for super effective damage. They are going to get there just slightly faster than we get to these Rock Tombs, especially the next one as well. So we're going to go and fire off the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb is going to be shielded by the opponent, and they can outpace us to that next charge move. So we're actually going to double shield here. The opponent goes to Sparkling Aria once again. We're going to overfarm just slightly, fire off Rock Tomb number 2, and at this point, is the opponent going to double shield? Nope, they're going to let it go through. Rock Tomb gets the KO. They come in with Serperior, and honestly, quite surprising we're not swapping out here. We do have 2 Pokemon that do very well into Serperior, so we actually go for the Rock Tomb first, then we swap out, and the opponent comes in with Alolan Marowak, and this is a great matchup for the Vullaby. We're going to go for the Foul Play, dealing some decent damage there. Unfortunately, because Foul Play does less damage this season, it looks like it's going to be quite an awkward farm down for us. So we're forced to throw another Foul Play pretty much straight away. Foul Play gets the KO there. They come back in with the Serperior, and Vullaby is actually fairly bulky, so if they go for a Frenzy Plant, we should be able to live this. They go for an Aerial Ace, we're definitely able to live that, and they fire off a second charge move. At this point, they go for the Frenzy Plant, just guaranteeing the KO. We can come in with the Drifloon, go straight for an Icy Wind. It's going to be game over. There's nothing they can do anymore. So the opponent lets the Icy Wind go through. We take out Serperior, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we see another Lapras in the lead. This time, the opponent's take swaps into a Drapion. So we're going to respond, try to catch a Crunch there onto our Vullaby, or just catch a charge move in general. I guess it makes sense for them to go for an Aqua Tail up against the Geodude. But either way, we are going to let the next move go through. We go for a Foul Play. This is not going to do much damage here. So the opponent might be able to flip Switch Advantage, and the opponent actually no-shields that as well. So not really ideal. I think we should have at least farmed up to a Brave Bird, and then potentially baited with the Foul Play. But then they swap into Lapras, and you can see we are trying to commit commit to the Brave Bird this time around. They go for Sparkling Aria. Actually, never mind. We're just going to bank all of that energy. That makes complete sense as well. We go for the Rock Tomb, debuffing their attack, and the opponent will be able to outpace us to the next charge move. So at this point, going to double shield our Geodude. Gonna not even bother over farming either. Go straight for Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb is going to be double shielded by the Lapras. Remember, we do of course have energy on the Vullaby. So at this point, the opponent takes us out with the Sparkling Aria. We come in with the Drifloon here. The opponent probably will reach a charge move, but no, never mind. They don't get there in time. So we can go straight for Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball will be getting the KO there. They come back in with the Drapion. We're going to come in with the Vullaby. We have the energy for the Brave Bird, but we settle for a foul play. Foul play doesn't get the KO, but we get the farm down. And the opponent again having Serperior in the back. So once again, looking pretty good for us. We can go straight for Icy Wind. They do actually outpace us to the charge move, however, but they just go for an Aerial Ace. And of course, we're now going to debuff their attack. The next Aerial Ace or a Frenzy Plant going to do less damage. We should be looking fine here. And of course, Drifloon as well has a lot of HP as well. So even if they do get us very low, it's quite hard for them to farm us down. We're able to reach another Icy Wind. And of course, from this range, Icy Wind takes out Serperior, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, we see Charge Bug in the lead, so this is a good matchup for us, definitely where we want to see it. We're going to swap out Catch the Charge Move onto our Vullaby. Very nice there. Should be a Rage Fist, which is of course resisted. However, now they're boosted, a close combat, if they're running it, should do quite a lot of damage. So we're going to shield, respect the damage, and they full send it, which means we're able to go for a full farm down. The opponent comes back in with the Charge Bug. We go straight for the foul play there. Foul play is going to be no shielded by the opponent, and the opponent is actually going to throw on CMP. We win CMP with the Vullaby, and we go for the Brave Bird, getting the one shot. The opponent comes in with Lapras, and this is looking like it's game over already. We can go straight for the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb going to be no shielded by the opponent. They realize it's already game over, so they're just going to concede the match there. Into the next battle, we see a Furret in the lead. So the opponent could be on Trailblaze, as of course it did gain access to Trailblaze this season, and they go for it straight away. They boost up their attack. We're just going to drop it straight away with a Rock Tomb. Don't mind that. Rock Tomb, of course, going to be shielded as well. The opponent is going to make it to a charge move just before we reach a charge move. So we actually swap into Vullaby, and a very questionable swap out into Claydol. What on earth is that swap? We go for the foul play. Of course, they are probably going to be on Rock Tomb here, so Rock Tomb is going to do quite a lot of respectable damage there, but it doesn't really matter. We can throw our foul play number 2. We are debuffed though, so foul play, does it get the KO here? Yes, it still gets the KO, and then they come in with a Togetic, so that was surely just a misclick on the opponent's end. Remember, we are debuffed, so Brave Bird, whilst it does hit hard, isn't going to hit quite as hard as you might expect, but either way, put them into range where maybe we can just farm them down. We're actually going to come in with our Drifloon here, just because Drifloon has an awful matchup up against the Furret, so we're going to no shield. We can now reach an Icy Wind. Icy Wind will be getting the KO, or grabbing the final shield from the opponent. At this point, we're happy to just no shield. Drifloon doesn't go down there. The opponent able to snipe with the Furret. We probably should have been on our toes there, swapped out there, but it doesn't really matter. The opponent fires off a Swift. We can go straight for Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb from this range will be enough damage to get the KO. They come back in with the Togetic, but they reach a last second charge move there. And Psyshock gets the KO, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But into the next battle, great lead for us, and the opponent safe swaps into a Charge Bug, so they are clearly core broken by this Geodude. We're going to no shield. I'm actually not so sure about that, just because we've already seen 2 incredibly weak Pokemon to the Geodude. We know Talonflame can't hit for anything other than resisted damage. Maybe it would have made sense to shield there, but either way, the opponent's going to come back in with the Talonflame. What on earth is their third Pokemon here? If this is their best answer now, we're going to go for the Rock Tomb. The opponent will actually be able to get a huge farm down here, and this is kind of why I suggested maybe shielding the X-Scissor, because they do come out with a ton of loaded energy. Of course, they are debuffed, so probably no shield the first move. They go for a Flame Charge, boosting up their attack there. They go for the extra Incinerate, so this could be a Brave Bird. So we are going to shield. We respect the damage. It's just a Flyer, which is okay. We're now going to fire off the Foul Play straight away here, and Foul Play should be enough damage to get the KO. The opponent's going to have a Blastoise as their final Pokemon, so it makes sense. They were literally just triple weak to the Geodude in the lead, but because we didn't really preserve the health there, this is looking quite tricky for us. We come in with the Drifloon, gonna have to shield the first charge move, and probably gonna have to bait with an Icy Wind at this point. So we're gonna farm up to the Shadow Ball, fire off the Icy Wind. Icy Wind is shielded by the Blastoise, but if they're on Ice Beam, we probably lose anyways. So let's see, what does the opponent throw? They go for the Hydro Cannon. That does not get the KO, but can Shadow Ball take out the Blastoise? Shadow Ball gets the KO. KO there, and we are able to take that game. Into the next battle, best lead we could possibly see. The opponent swaps into low kicks. They are very weak to rock, however, they will reach a trailblaze before we get to the rock tomb. So we swap out there, catch the charge move. Well, not really catch it, but just making sure they can only throw either resisted or neutral damage to the Volibite, and they actually don't reach a second charge move there. They then come in with the Turtonator. We go for 3 air slashes, throw on very good timing there, go for the foul play, and I don't really understand why we go for the foul play again. We could have committed to the Brave Bird here, but we grabbed both shields anyway, so never mind, doesn't really matter. And it looks like the opponent as well didn't get the Incinerate through, so... And the opponent doesn't throw here either, so what on earth are they doing? Doesn't really matter. This game is well and truly over. Rock Tomb gets the one shot. They come in. They are at least on bubble, but it doesn't really matter at this point. We're able to reach another Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb gets the KO up against the Mantine, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, tricky lead for us. We're going to have to stay in, of course. Our backline is very weak to Bastiodon. So we're actually going to go for a Rock Tomb here. Of course, Rock Tomb is going to hit for resisted damage. However, it will debuff their attack, so it might make this matchup slightly more comfortable for us in the long run. So we are going to shield the opponent. Goes for a Stone Edge here. And we might even go for another Rock Tomb. We might be able to outpace them to a third charge move before they do get to Stone Edge number 2. The opponent no shields once again. And at this one, I probably would go for Thunderbolt here. But again, we're going for Rock Tomb. Probably not going to grab another shield here, so the opponent no shields again, and we're going to double shield. I don't know about that play, but we're going to shield up the Stone Edge. The opponent staying in with the Bastiodon, and we're able to get the farm down, so it does pay off. But let's see what the opponent has in the back. They're going to come in with an Empoleon, so pretty interesting double steel team so far. We're going to swap into Volibite, and they've got a triple steel team. Like, what the heck is this team on the opponent's end here? We're going to go straight for foul play. Foul play grabs the final shield. The opponent is already at a charge move. They go for the Iron Head. That does big damage, and we are able to reach a foul play here. But foul play, of course, did get a nerf to the damage. Foul play actually doesn't quite get the KO there, and the opponent able to reach a last-second charge move. Mud Bomb doesn't get the KO either, and we stay in with the Volibite. We basically just allow the Empoleon to get 1 extra energy there, or 1 extra waterfall through. We're going to come in with the Drifloon, not able to make a catch or anything. We're going to have to full send the Shadow Ball right now. It looks like 1 waterfall will be taking out the Drifloon. Shadow Ball doesn't quite get the KO there. They're able to waterfall, farm down the Geodude, and somehow the very weird triple steel team is able to take us out. But into the next battle, we're going to see a load of Ninetales in the lead. We go straight for Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb going to be shielded by the opponent, and they throw immediately, giving us a full Volt Switch in for free. They go for Weather Ball there. That's fine with us. We can now go for 2 Volt Switches, throwing on good timing as soon as we get to the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb is going to be no-shielded by the opponent, and they come in with a Vigoroth. Vigoroth in 2025. Like, what the heck is happening here? I guess this trainer just doesn't realize that Vigoroth got a heavy triple nerf a few seasons ago. But either way, we're going to go for the foul play, grab the final shield from the opponent. Of course, they do still have access to Rockslide, and Rockslide does hit for super effective damage, but that's okay. But they're actually able to outpace us to the next charge move. So Vigoroth, I was just slating it, but it is actually putting in some work here. We can go for the foul play. Foul play will not be enough damage to get the KO, though, so maybe should have gone for the Brave Bird. But either way, we swap into Drifloon. The opponent swaps out into their final Pokemon, a Swampert. So going straight for Icy Wind here, as we realize a Shadow Ball won't quite get the KO, so might as well debuff their attack first, as the opponent now fires off a debuffed Hydro Cannon. Doesn't do too much damage there. We can now go straight for a Shadow Ball, and of course Shadow Ball gonna hit very hard up against the Swampert, taking them out. The opponent has to full send a Rock Slide to get the KO here, but they're gonna be so low in HP that we can come in with the Volibite, go for the Air Slash farm down, taking out Vigoroth, and we're able to take that game. Now going into the final battle of this video, leading into a Kanto Ninetales this time around. So still a great lead matchup for the Geodude. The opponent goes for a Weather Ball there, of course. They do have access to Scorching Sands, which would hit for double super effective damage. So we're going to go for the Rock Tomb, get the KO. The opponent comes in with a Venusaur, and again, we probably should swap out here, but we're going to go for another Rock Tomb first, and then probably swap into our Volibite, grab a shield there. The opponent comes in with, I was about to say their own Volibite, but why would they be running that? They come in with a Mandibuzz, Volibite's dead, and we are going to no shield the Aerial Ace. Doesn't do too much damage here. We're going to farm up a lot, and this is actually really good here, making sure they throw the next charge move before we go for a Brave Bird and triple debuff our defense. So Brave Bird, of course, going to hit for big damage here, and we are now able to reach another Brave Bird as well, winning CMP up against our dad. Brave Bird gets the KO, the opponent sacrificing the Mandibuzz, and at this point, it's going to be game over. Venusaur unfortunately can't do anything up against Drifloon. Everything is going to be resisted. We come in with the Drifloon. We're going going to go straight for Icy Wind, unfortunately losing CMP, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I think the safe play, just shield the first charge move. We're going to debuff their attack. I mean, resist everything anyway, so probably didn't need to shield anything at all. But either way, we can now go straight for the Icy Wind. We're actually going to swap out, make a very unnecessary catch for no reason whatsoever. Frenzy Plant gets the KO there, and now, just because we can, we're going for the BM, going for the Shadow Ball, and of course, Shadow Ball gets the KO up against the Venusaur, and we're able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.